I cannot believe how late to the party I am with this brand. Oh my God. What's happening, guys? It is Matt here from Sophisticated Obsession, back with another fashion video. The video that I did previously last week went down really well. If you have not seen it, it is the collaboration between Dior and Stussy, and I was reviewing my new B23 sneakers. So if you have not seen that yet, definitely check that video out. I got quite a few positive comments. I got people messaging me on Instagram. I got people messaging me on YouTube saying, this was a really sort of comprehensive video, please do more. So I thought, okay, well, I'll do another video like that with then maybe like a fashion brand actually looking at clothing. So the brand that I am going to be reviewing today is Cold Laundry. Now, I do have a trusty list with me because that sort of keeps me on target rather than just sort of going off on a tangent. I've literally got the attention span of a squirrel. I'm not even lying there, like Rachel testified to that. I cannot stay on task. Okay, so I'm gonna give you the background of Cold Laundry, what their sort of inspiration is, where they come from, and all of that jazz. I did actually try to reach out to one of the owners of Cold Laundry, but I have not been able to then get a response. I'll go into a little bit more detail of why I think that that is necessary for you guys to know that. There are loads and loads of positives, which obviously I will be bigging up, but there's maybe one or two things that I think are questionable that I think we should at least dive into and explore a little bit more. So I am a little bit gutted that I couldn't get the owners' opinions or just allow the owners to then kind of back themselves up and just be a voice in this video. So yeah, I have given you the chance, but you haven't responded, so tough. First of all, what is Cold Laundry? Who are they? So this is a British brand derived from London, Bethnal Green to be precise. This brand started in January in 2019. So it is a very new brand. It's actually created by a couple. Now, I'm not even gonna try and pronounce their names because I know that I'm gonna get it wrong and I'm gonna offend somebody, so their names are there. Where does this brand get their inspiration from? Looking at the brand and the aesthetic to that brand, I kind of see some sort of Korean fast fashion elements there. It's very on trend and they're quirky as well. The brand has a very contemporary aesthetic. The brand is very on trend and it is very linear with other brands that are doing similar things such as Weekday, Acne Studios, and Cole Buxton. These are all doing fairly similar things. Not exactly the same, but they are moving in the same direction. Now, they boast of being an affordable company, which I think it's contested. It maybe is slightly on the pricier side of things. I do think that it is in line if you may be a consumer of things like Acne Studios, which is more onto the pricier side of things, but maybe not as pricey as like full-on designer wear such as like Gucci and Dior. Their mission statement is that they want to then provide ethically sourced clothing. I'm going to go into a little bit more detail of sort of what that means and whether they have actually achieved that, because if you do a little bit of digging, you kind of find a bit of a different story. The name Cold Laundry is actually something that I found really interesting. The name actually derives from unethical fashion practices, such as sweatshops. Obviously, sweatshops, they are, you know, bad. Bit of an understatement, but sweatshops exploit people and exploit factory workers. So Cold Laundry, you can't sweat if you are cold. And then the laundry is obviously then what clothing you are wearing. Therefore, it is Cold Laundry. Now, I do actually have a quote from the owners that say, we wanted to break the negative stigma attached to fast fashion by continuously making decisions to say no to unfair trade practices, making our manufacturing process as clean and earthly friendly as possible. That is a great statement. Whether it's true or not, if you are making a statement like that, you certainly do open yourself up to a hell of a lot more scrutiny. Now we go on to the look. This is unisex fashion. I think that that is great. You are blurring the lines of gender within fashion. Good. We need that. There are so many stigmas and so many boxes and categories that people feel like they need to fit into that I think it restricts people's creativity and people's flair for fashion. If you are a bloke and you see something that you really like, but it is in the women's category, that in itself would almost put you off it, okay? It certainly would put me off wearing something like that because I'd have the stigma there. Whereas I think with this, they have completely broken down those barriers. Also, the look is a very simple aesthetic. Now, they don't have a logo or a brand plastered all over the items. In fact, what they are doing is they are allowing the silhouettes and the colors of their garments to then do the talking for them. Another thing which I absolutely love about their looks, and I first saw this in the spring-summer collection of Louis Vuitton, is the muted pastel colors. I love pastel colors at the moment. I think that they are just so nice and bright and just fresh. There's actually a picture that I saw on Instagram, and it's got like all of their garments on a rack, and it just looks so nice. It just looks so visually inviting. So before we get into the new season that they have now just posted live, I want to maybe go through a couple of things that maybe hasn't been so good. First of all, the customer service. I kind of understand that this is a small brand, and I do think that they have exploded and they have probably got a lot larger than what they probably expected in this time span, and also probably a lot larger than what they can actually manage. In this day and age, customer service, I would say, is one of, if not the most important part of a brand. Everyone is shopping online, and if you do not have a good online experience, people aren't going to stay with you. People have had problems with responses. People have actually had to like go onto Instagram and actually spam their Instagram accounts just to get a response. Kind of understand, because I haven't had a response from them as well. Another thing which I have seen is that there are no size guides on the website. What the hell? That's baffling, to be quite honest. And it's not even like you can kind of make a guess, because it's only small, medium and large. What one brand's small might be some other brand's medium. What we also have is the small, medium, large. Is that a men's small, medium and large, or is that a woman's small, medium and large? This is a unisex brand, which yes, it's great, but we need more clarity of what those sizes actually mean. That is something that desperately does need to get sorted, because that, I think, is absolutely ridiculous. Now, another thing which confuses me slightly is that February 2020, so this year, they went into liquidation. What? So they've registered for liquidation, and that is a government document that has to be open to the public legally. Then, like a month later, there was then a new brand that was then set up with virtually the same name. This kind of leads me on to the next issue, which is refund issues. People have had some serious problems with refunds. There are people that are still claiming that they have not received a refund after like 5 months. Now, I do not know if this has now been sorted, but has this got something to do with the liquidation? If the company has been liquidized and somebody bought something from the previous company, you can say goodbye to that money. It's gone. You're not receiving a refund. I think that is just morally so corrupt, considering that this brand is really like focused on their ethics. I could be totally wrong here. I'm not an analyst. I don't work for the government, so I could have read all of this information completely wrong. Going on from the refund issues, there have been issues regarding international orders. Could be issues with shipping, or it could be issues with refunds or shipping back. Now, the other thing, which I'm really hoping is not true, because if so, that really does mean that they do not care about the ethics whatsoever, is that the items that they are selling have actually been sourced through Chinese and Korean markets. If that is the case, you can say goodbye to ethical sourcing of the goods. As I said, I could be wrong, and I hope I am. I kind of hope that I do get a response from Cold Laundry so that I can then actually have more of a dialogue, and they can then have a response, and they can have an opportunity to then speak out and sort of defend themselves. But at the moment, yeah, it looks shady, to say the least. I'm not saying that I am an ethical person, because I know that I will have worn stuff that have not come from regulated places. I understand that. Now, I'm not saying that it is right for a company to then exploit their workers. That's not my point at all. If you are a brand that are openly campaigning to say that you are ethical and that you are regulated, you've got to be whiter than white. That being said, let's take a look at the garments. Now, what we're gonna do is we are gonna have a little look at some of the pieces that they have just released. Their new campaign, Redemption, has gone live. I was really psyched about this. Like, some of the items here look absolutely incredible. So we're gonna go through a couple of the items that really did catch my eye. First of all, let's take a look at the jackets. There was one that really did catch my eye, and I'm not surprised that it sold out more or less instantly. This is the Dover Blue Enzo jacket. As you can see, it's modeled by a woman, but it can be worn by a man as well. I really like this pastel color, this blue, really summery. I really like the like sort of the oversized look to it. I really like the large collar with then the large pockets, and also sort of the oversized, very loose fit of the cuffs and the arms. Really nice. Now, if we move on, the shacket. Now we have the Valspar shacket and shorts in this really nice purple color. I like how it is still very sort of oversized, but it does have a nice fit to it. Really large buttons, and also it's gone for those oversized pockets as well, which I think are excellent. What I really like about the whole collection is that this is so easy to mix and match, and it's so easy to create an outfit from these pieces. Okay, next we come to the shirts. There was one that really did sort of take my eye. Apart from the shackets, there was this pastel long shirt and shorts combo. I like the long shirts. I've got two of them from Off-White, and I wear those all the time. The simple design to this with that lovely pastel pink, beautiful. I've actually ordered the shirt and those shorts, so I will do a follow-up video of this at some point when I do receive my orders, if I do receive my orders. Overall, the shirt has got a very simple design. It kind of looks a bit like a lab coat. I think it is quite thin, so this will be quite nice for summer. Moving on. Next, let's come over to the suits. They're okay, but there was only one that I really liked, and this was the Rose Dust DB suit. This is lovely. A real deep, rich color. I like the tailored trousers as well. There was a very slight taper, but I really like the crop. I like the double-breasted look. The double-breasted suit has a button just at the bottom button, so you can't do the like the second one up. It's quite quirky in its design. Also a thick lapel, which seems to be really on trend at the moment. I don't think that this would suit... I don't think that this would work if you were then taking it to work. Oh my god, I'm just repeating my words now. What's happening? This isn't a formal suit. That's what I'm trying to say. I think that this would work if you were then maybe going out in the evening. Maybe you're then dressing up with then a nice t-shirt underneath, or maybe a very casual shirt. Next, let's come over to, they've actually got some sets. They're okay, but I don't know if they're worth the money. They're quite expensive. So you've got this mint lounge set, which is nice. I think that it is a lot of money to just have as casual wear. I think you could get this at a very cheap price. They also do have quite a few pleated sets as well. Again, I'm not convinced. I have seen quite a few like pleated or cord-like items that have been circulating. And I'm still on the fence of it. I think I'd look like a bit of an idiot if I was wearing that, to be quite honest. I really, really like that pistachio colour. I think that is a lovely colour. I'm seeing quite a lot of it from Issey Miyake and brands like that. So I don't know, I think it is gaining a little bit of popularity, but I'm still not convinced. Really, really like this. I think that this works exceptionally well for a set for women. It's not a men's set. Very effeminate in its silhouette, but it does look really, really nice, which is why I thought I'd mention it. Moving on, let's go to trousers next. Overall, the trousers are very sort of straight leg with maybe a slight taper. I don't know if they've gone for drop crotch. It kind of does look like they have. I do like a couple of them, but I'm just not too sure about the fit, which is why I just would not trust going to buy a pair, because there are no sizes on there. I like this pistachio CL suit trouser. It comes with a belt as well. It's also got a nice relaxed fit. I really like, though, the cream crop pants. Really like those, and I was so tempted to get them, but I just couldn't. I just don't trust the fit, as I keep saying. Next, we come to some tops. Very simple in their design, but the silhouettes and the cuts of these tops I think are so unique and really, really interesting. First of all, the mock neck tops. Now these come in a variety of colors, but I really liked the purpley lilac color. It's got a very, very thick collar to this, with then a very long arm. The arm, it does look quite wide. Although that this is oversized, it does look like it has a really nice shape on the body. So that is one item that I will definitely be looking at. Another top that I do really, really like, but I just don't know if it is me. This is the patch top. It's got a huge pocket on the front. As like with the mock neck, it's got this really long sleeve. It looks a little bit longer than the mock neck. The mock neck seems to come just below the elbow, whereas this is coming just above the wrist. It kind of is interesting at the back because it's got like a zipper going up the back. Almost has like a tunic-y type of look to it because it's got a slit going up the side. I like it, but I don't know if it is just a little bit too much. So there we go. That is the rundown of the items that I have certainly looked at and been excited about from this new collection from Cold Laundry. Of course, I will keep you posted if I do hear back from Cold Laundry, and also I will do another video when I do receive my items. As always, thank you so much for your support. I really, really do appreciate everybody that has subscribed and is watching this channel. It really does mean a lot. As always, please hit us up on Instagram to see what I'm obsessed with at the moment. And if you have not done so already, please hit that subscribe button. And that's everything. Hope you have a great day, guys, whatever you are doing. Stay safe. All right, see you later. Bye.